for a second. But yeah, we're live. We're live.
Yeah.
Yo, welcome to another episode of the Flagrant 2 with X and Lou. I'm Lou. That's
And I'm
X.
X.
And yeah, man, we are here to talk about a disappointing loss.
I mean,
Game
it depends
three,
on what
man.
fan you are.
I mean, yeah, true. It could be either an exciting win or a disappointing loss. So depends on which side you're on. But yeah, man, I'll let you go ahead and start it off while I want to bring up all this stats and all this stuff.
Yeah. So let's start it off with, I'm gonna start it off with this is a game. This is another game. Like, despite, I wish we would have did. I wish we would have actually got a chance. We had some stuff going on, but I wish we would have got a chance to talk our stuff before the game.
Yeah, facts.
Because this is the reason why, what you seen on the last episode, I was asking about Jason Tatum, the Jays, about if they're gonna have those 25 points and plus. You know what I mean? Both of them actually play good in the game together.
Right.
And I felt like this was gonna be the one. So I was like, oh, I want that one to be like, oh, he coming on here after that. But I wish we would did that. That's really how I felt. That's why I was asking him about it. Like, you think this is the game? Like, it's the first game at the Garden in over 10 years, since the Paul Pierce and Rondo era and everything. And
Right.
then these two guys' first games here, like, and the fans behind them, all of that. And then after the game that they just had where Draymond punked them, they was gonna come out, gunning.
Yeah.
They came and did that. It's just like, and the one thing I want to say is just like Jaylen, it's something about Jaylen Brown, man. He just has an exceptional quarter every game so far. He has had an exceptional quarter, whether it was that fourth quarter for them or just coming out in this game. That first quarter was crazy. He had 17 points and was responsible for 24 points in that first quarter alone himself.
Yeah, man. I thought that they both played very well. I mean, yeah, we talked about it even coming into the series that they're so inconsistent that if both of them could play at what they're capable of at the same time, they're a formidable team to beat. And game three definitely showed that.
Exactly. And it's just like Jaylen started it off and Tatum went ahead and finished it off, man, because we got to think about it. Brown had like a game just like we would sit here and see how Curry played in the first game where you was like, oh, Curry went off that first quarter. That's the same thing Brown did because Brown had 17 points and finished the game with 27 or something like that. Yeah. 26 or 27. It's like, 10 points after the first quarter. And it's just like, this is where you got to have a supporting cast who goes ahead and has your back behind you, because Steph did that the first game and they lost that game. Now Jaylen Brown goes ahead and do the same exact thing and still scores less than Curry. Yeah. And they win. Why? Because you had a supporting cast behind you who actually played phenomenal and didn't score 2 points in the whole 30 minutes of play.
Yeah, I mean, you have Marcus Smart scoring 24. And he has 7 rebounds and 5 assists. He chipped in really good. Grant Williams gave you 10 points. Derek White gave you 7. Al and Robert chipped in with 11 and 8 respectively. But I think the biggest takeaway from this, it wasn't just Jaylen and Tatum playing well and Marcus stepping up as well. I think that it was really the rebounds. I would say. I mean, you look at the rebound numbers, 47 to 31, but the critical key here is 15 offensive rebounds. That is for not when you can give your team a chance to get a second chance score and the opportunity to keep your offense alive, a fresh 14 back on the clock. That's kind of deflating in the essence, and I thought that. Especially when the Warriors went on that 8 points in 37-second run, and they was closing the gap, and then they took the lead late in the third quarter. I thought that momentum was kind of shifting in the favor of the Warriors, but you got to give a ton of credit to Boston. They was very aggressive in the paint. They was, they was muscling their way in the paint. They was like, yo, we're gonna out physical you, and it showed on the boards as well. I mean, 15 offensive boards to Golden State 6. Mind you, Golden State only had 31, and that 31 actually came in garbage minutes because before I turned the game off, when it was I turned the game off when when I think it was like 2.5 minutes left. I'm like, yeah, this game's over.
Yeah, it's over.
Um, they only had 26 rebounds. So
Hmm.
they had what, 6 garbage of rebounds,
Yeah,
and matter of
exactly.
fact, the 6 offensive rebounds was it was like 3 offensive rebounds when I checked it. It was 26 regular rebounds total, but it was 3 offensive rebounds. So those 3 offensive rebounds came in garbage time.
Yeah,
So I mean, you got to give a ton of credit to Boston. I mean,
that is.
hats
But
off to them.
it's hats off to them. You got to give the hats off to their drafting, their GM,
Hmm.
former coach, all of that. Because at the end of the day, it's just like in basketball. It's like they always say, you could teach everything, but you can't teach size.
You can't teach
And that,
size, you can't teach speed, and you can't teach physicality. You either have it or you don't.
yeah, yeah, and guess who doesn't have it?
The Warriors right now.
The Warriors, because we got to think about some of their most firepowered people are bad offensive people. You got to think about Poole and Curry. Like, and we ain't gonna say Curry's bad because he's been showing he's been giving that effort on the defensive side. But when you think about it, the people that you want to score and things like that are liabilities at this point. We got to let's keep it 100. No matter what anybody say, Clay isn't even a good defender right now.
He isn't. I mean, I
Like
mean, but
he's
I
he's
don't
not
know what.
he's let's keep it 100. He's basically Bertans out there, and I'm just sorry to say because Clay is my guy. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer because what he's been doing at the early years, but after this injury right now,
Yeah,
the
he's
best
just,
he
it
could
just
do
doesn't look.
is
Yeah,
shoot the ball for you. You got to understand they had him guarding Al Horford. You know what that says right now? Clay Thompson, the best you could be is a stretch four. Go guard the
yeah.
big man for us, and that's one of the also problems which
I
leading
I don't
to.
know. I don't know because I can't say that only because I saw him defend Tatum very well. When they finally put him on Tatum and put Wiggs on Jalen, he defended Tatum pretty well.
But
I mean,
that's the thing.
it
I
was
said
just when
here.
Tatum got into the paint, it was just, a little physical when Clay didn't want to
Yeah.
get any fouls and take him out of rhythm. But I mean, I think Clay had a good game. I don't think this was on Clay. I really think this was on
No,
Draymond.
I
We
don't
have a
think so
comment
neither.
here from Al Mugga. Yo, what's good, bro? My boy Mug.
So
Yo, he said Poole is inconsistent. And
yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's gonna come with his
Poole
age.
been yeah, because Poole been
He's
tailing off
young.
since the start of this playoffs. He came in
Yeah.
the playoffs so ecstatic, so high. But guess who you was going against? You was going someone against some of the worst defense out there.
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
like as you get further in the playoffs, the defense get better
It
and
gets better
better.
and better. Yep.
So it's just like that's what it's showing, and then it's showing him as well, just as a youngin. Like we seen from that very first game of the finals, like the young hit, the young just finally came out of him. Like he was just sitting here, like looking enamored at this game, and just so caught up in the whole spectacle of the finals, where it's just
Yeah.
like, yo, you playing like dirt.
Yeah. Do you
And
think this is an opportunity to throw in Kaminga, even if it's just 5 minutes in the game? I mean, do you
everybody
do you
say
think
this
that
Derek
this is?
Kaminga
I'm
thing,
I'm just, I'm, I'm asking.
ah,
'Cause that's your guy. That's one
that's
of your
my
guys.
that's my
Him and
boy, but
Moody.
I
That's your
still I
guys.
still don't think he's ready for it. But he's got to take the chance. But I'm always gonna say Moody because I just feel like Moody is just more level headed at this point in his
Right.
career. He moves more so within the defensive scheme of things.
Mhm.
So I think Moody is more. Everybody's saying Kaminga, but I feel like Moody is more of a mover than anything.
I mean, I said this. Before game one. Well, after game one, I said that Moody
Mhm.
should get more playing time. I mean, I think Moody, he's gonna be their 3 and D. He's going to be
Yeah.
that guy going forward, and I think it's huge for him. I want to see him on the floor. Um, with
More
with
than more than
with
Kaminga. I'm gonna say I want to see him on the floor more than Kaminga. I ain't gonna lie, but go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that I would like to see him on the floor more than Kaminga, but I would also like to see him on the floor with GP. I think that both of them on
Yeah,
the floor. If you, I I still think that Kerr is as
still
phenomenal
going
as a
with
coach
his
as he is.
vets.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like I feel like he's pulling hot hands out. I get it, foul trouble, this, that, and the third.
Nah, nah, nah,
But
nah. Mm.
but when he pulled Curry in the third quarter, instead of letting him play out the third quarter, I think he pulled him like 2.5 minutes left
Yeah,
in the
with
third
two
quarter.
minutes left.
I would have left him in. I would let him
I
get his rest, and there was a flow.
I ain't
There was a
gonna
flow.
yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't think it was even foul trouble. You got to think about it like this. Instead, as like
I
I
mean, he
said, I'm a
played that
Warriors
entire third
fan.
quarter with 4 fouls.
But that's why I said it's not about fouls. Listen to this. As a
Right.
Warriors fan, he does that 12-6 split. He does 12 whole full
Yeah.
first quarter and a whole third
And then he
quarter.
does. Yeah.
So what he did was just he sat him in those last 2 minutes of the third quarter so
To
he
get
could
him
play
more
him
run
throughout
and
the
yeah,
years through the fourth
get
quarter.
him
But
more
it's just
run in the
like
fourth.
the way the Warriors work and the way this game goes, we know it's a game of runs, and while you on a run, you gotta leave your man in there and just let him run
You
it
have
out.
to.
This is the
Yep.
finals. This is the
You have
end
to.
of the year. What are
Yep.
you saving him for? The rest of the rest of the series? Let's get this win, and then
Yep.
you could take the series. Sometimes you gotta deflate some people to get you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The first game
I'm
at their home, if you would have won that, that's really deflating.
that's yeah, and that's huge for them as well because I mean they was already on a run. At the
Mm-hmm.
end of the third quarter, they tied it up. They took the lead momentarily. They was within distance. They was within that window where it's like we have to strike now to win this game. And I really think that when Kerr took Curry out, it was that kind of killed a lot of the momentum. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it freed up the defense. So now you could play, man up. You don't have to sit here and do traps, worry about different screens because Curry is your best weapon. So when he's on the floor, all eyes are on him. It doesn't matter who else is on the floor, whether it be
Mm-hmm.
Poole, whether it be Clay. Doesn't matter.
Play. It don't
the
matter.
the eyes are on even if you're just looking at your peripheral like like I need to know where Curry is at all times. All eyes are on Curry when he's on the floor. You take him out in the third quarter and y'all are right there within in distance. I understand what Curry was thinking, but that was the wrong move, period.
Yeah,
Al
I
says
think so.
they can play Kaminga at the 4, but Kaminga can't shoot. No, I mean that's true. You can play Kaminga at the 4, but ultimately, I much rather have Otto Porter at the 4. I much rather have
Yeah,
even Iggy at the 4. I mean, guys
I
that
would even say
guys
that.
that are proven, that's been here, that's already level headed, that has playoff experience and can defend. That's why Otto Porter is here. He
Mm-hmm.
could shoot the 3 and he could defend.
And Otto
Same with
Porter
Iggy.
been used throughout all these games too.
Yep.
He's been consistent and made sure he did his job, everything
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I think Otto Porter has been huge for the Warriors. But they just didn't get enough. They didn't get enough. Andrew Wiggins needs to score between 22 to 26 points. And he only had 18 on 7 for 16 shooting, 1 for 6. There was a
I
lot of
mean,
threes that he took that I felt like he was pressing, like he was
yeah.
forcing the 3, like he wanted to make a 3. I think he didn't make his first 3 until like the third quarter.
Mm-hmm. And that's
Um,
the thing about him, man. I think you're gonna get like a solid 20 out of him every game. I don't know. You get that's
I
a
mean,
stretch asking for it up to
you
30,
need you
almost
need
up to 30 points from him.
I
Nah,
no, I
that
need I
would be
need at
crazy.
least 22 from him. At the very least, I need 22. At the very least, he's capable of giving you between 20 and 24. So I'm going with the middle. I need 22 from him. That's what I need. If you look at the past 2 games, he's scored more than 22 points or at 22. So I need 22 from him. Poole, he was 4 for 8, 1 for 4 from 3, and he only had 10 points. You're in there for 24 minutes. Your job is to go in there and provide offense. He didn't provide
Mm-hmm.
offense. Otto Porter, I'm not mad at. He was the only Warrior in a plus column. He was +4. Everybody else was in the negative column. Um and I think the closest one to him was Bielisa, your boy Balenciaga,
Valencia.
and Clay. And I'm not mad at them playing Bielisa. I was about to say Balenciaga.
Be a least, yeah.
I'm not mad at the play, Bielisa. I just think that if he's gonna come in, he has to shoot. You're in there to shoot. I mean,
Yeah, but
he can stretch the floor.
let's look at this. If you've seen any one of the catches that he had that tonight
Hmm.
or last night,
Hmm.
all of them was kind of slightly late passes and off target, so he had to make a move when he caught the ball.
Yeah, and
If
put the
these
ball on
guys
the
are giving
floor.
him exactly, if these guys are giving him better passes instead of pressing, you gotta understand some of these passes obviously was like from Clay, and we know Clay right now. He's sitting here pressing, trying to get his buckets, and tonight he did it.
Yeah.
But it's just these guys are sitting here trying to score. You got to think about it with Balenciaga's out there.
Bielisa.
Bielisa's out there. When he's out there, he's just one of those set shooters. He's just like, yo, you're out there. If we give you the ball, you shoot it. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
grab a rebound for us. If you got to switch, do your best. You're not a good defender, but like we need you for spacing and to make those shots. But the only way you can make those shots is if you get on target and on time passes. And they weren't doing that for him. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie. So it's like I like him out there because you need that space. Because at the end of the day, my guy Rob Williams went ahead and had 4 blocks. You gotta understand
He was out
if
there balling. He was balling.
if Bielitsa was out there for a little bit longer, while I think during some of his minutes
Yeah.
to space the floor a little more, where you got to make him
You
pay
have to.
Robert
You
Williams,
have to. Yeah.
make
You have
him
to pull
pay
him
for
out the paint.
helping.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. He was eight. He had 8 points, 10 rebounds, 4 for 5 shooting, and 4 blocks and 3 steals. So I mean, and he was a plus 21. He had the highest plus minus in the game. So I
in
mean,
like 26
yeah,
minutes.
yeah, and he was out there the least amount of time out of everybody. That kind of
And
played.
had a
Um,
major
your boy
impact.
Kevin joined the chat.
What up,
uh,
Kenny? I don't want to hear nothing from you. We are not friends. We are not enemies neither.
he
But
said,
do not talk to me.
He said Celtics defense put the clams down in 3 and 4 quarters, and Robert Williams is the defensive MVP for that game. No, I agree.
Yeah,
He
give
definitely
it. I give it
he was
to
the
you
anchor
on
for that
that.
one.
He
He was
was,
definitely
but it's
for the
just
anchor
like
that for that one.
what I was telling you at the beginning though. When you got to think about it too. At times, I was looking at some of those blocks, and when those blocks happened, he was guarding Looney at that point.
Mm-hmm.
If you got to guard Looney, you ain't got to leave the paint.
Yeah,
So now at that point, it's like those are free blocks.
and this is
Curry
why I
tried to do
keep.
a Curry tried to do a high floater. He punched Curry's floater like, yo, what are you doing?
Bielisa.
Balenciaga, Bielitsa, what you coming in here with a floater for? Why he got a late pass and he had to put the ball on the floor with a floater? Give me that. He was blocking shots. Like without the spacing, you just funnel the ball straight to him. And he blocked shots.
I mean, I agree. I think that I've been saying this since before game 2. I don't think that Looney should be starting. This is not the series that you start him against
And it's
the
tough.
Mavs. But look, you want him to get out there. I don't mind him getting these minutes. I mean, how many minutes he had? He had 17
He's
minutes. See,
16. Oh, 17. Okay.
yeah, he had 17 minutes. I don't mind him getting these minutes, but
Yeah.
it shouldn't be coming with the starters. I truly think that they should start it off small. You want to take Robert Williams out the paint, and in order to do that, you have to have somebody that can stretch the floor. So you
Yeah, that's
need
like Otto Porter in minutes right there, man.
yeah. So start Otto Porter at that point, or start
Don't say
I wouldn't
Iggy.
say
You
Gary
always do
Payton,
that.
huh?
I said, don't say Iggy. You always do that. He
No,
can't
no, no.
shoot.
I wasn't even going Iggy. I was going Gary Payton. But another person you could start also is probably Moody. You can start Moody or Otto Porter. I mean, I don't mind both of them starting because
Yeah, because I feel like
it
they're
stretches the floor.
similar.
Yeah, and you gotta get him out the paint. You have to, and it frees it up for all the cuts, all the back doors and everything. And now you can get switches on, and it's favorable because you get the right switch, and you either got Al Horford or you got Robert Williams. So you have
And then
to.
they can't, even when they switch, they can't help now because the shooters out there.
Exactly. I just think that if Looney's gonna come in, he can only be on the floor if there's only one of them out there. So if it's Robert Williams out there, then yeah, get Looney out there, get him the box out because you're only worrying about one big. Al Horford is out there, so and it's not like Draymond. Draymond. There was so many rebounds I've seen where he looked small. He looks
Bro,
so
Horford,
small.
was it Horford?
Horford,
No,
Horford,
it
and
was
Robert
Robert
Williams.
Williams.
Both of
Robert
them. Both
Williams
of
just
them.
grabbed the ball over him like,
Bro.
yeah. And he looked like the little baby out there. I was like, oh my god, this is bad.
Yeah, Kevin goes, pick your poison, Derek White or Robert Williams. Are you asking me, or are you saying,
Nah,
like,
but
in
that's the
general?
fact. Because the
Are
thing
you
about it
asking?
is when no, that's a fact. Because when Robin Williams ain't out there, you got Derek White out there, and Derek White has been giving them fantastic minutes.
He hasn't.
And it's just like now you like you said, you got to pick your poison. Whether you want your shot blocked to somebody who's going to play the perimeter well and be so disciplined and move in the right places next to Horford, who does the same thing already. Next to you know what I mean. These are long
Yeah.
athletes. Now you got the Jays and then Marcus Smart, those four perimeter defenders plus Horford.
Yep.
Like your shot blocking is lowered, but
Hmm.
your perimeter defense and the way to keep people in front of them and to blow up different actions is really another poison where you're like, damn, this is tough. You know what I mean? It's the size and the length of the Celtics.
Yeah, and that's when you come out with Looney. When they go like that, and they put in Derek
Yeah,
White, and
I
they have
agree.
Derek White and they have um
Yeah, because the
Williams on the
tallest
floor.
person, yeah, the tallest
Yeah.
person is Looney on our team. If you excluding Wiseman because he ain't play all year, that's like the tallest guy on the team. So
What
like
do,
you
do
gotta
you
have him out there at some point, but it's just
do
like
do
it's
you
tough.
throw him out there? Do you throw out Wiseman? I mean, he's healthy. Do you throw him out there?
No, he ain't play all year. I throw
I
him in
mean,
the
even
fucking
even
trade block. That's where I throw him.
I
You know
mean,
what I
even
mean?
if
Like,
even if you could get 5 minutes out of him, you don't throw him out there just
man,
for
I'd put
defensive
Kaminga
purposes.
out there before I put Wiseman because at least Kaminga been out there playing in our system and been moving. I'll get
Right.
I'm good.
I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that. I mean, it's man. I honestly thought throughout that eight that 37-second run, that 8-0 run that they had,
Hmm.
I really thought, because that's
When they
deflating. That's
yeah,
deflating. And
but that
and it,
that shows the resilience of the Celtics where
nah,
they're
it
actually
does.
showing that they're growing up and they're showing that they're finally in like the end stage of one of their process of
Yeah.
actually building this team, getting the people in places, you know what I mean, the pieces in places, and actually getting some vets around them who's just like, yo, we good. Let's just keep
Mhm.
playing. Cause you can see it, even though smart be dumb, you see him sometimes he be out there cooling the boys off, like, all right, yo, just relax, we got it, we here. You know what I mean? So that's one thing with him. He gonna keep everybody level headed and situated.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely. I think that yeah, man, this is it. This might go 7 games, man. This
shoot,
just might go
it
seven
might just
games.
go 6 games, and you know who
I
knows.
mean, I had them at 6. So I mean, if we could keep it to 6. I mean, my finals predict. I mean, everything else was
Okay.
true. I had the Celtics in 7 against the Heat, and I had the Warriors in 5 against the Mavs. So I those ones came true, and
Hmm.
so far everything that I said about the Warriors has been correct. If only Kerr would just listen to me and don't start Looney, man. Just don't start Looney. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's what they've been comfortable with since they made that change. That's what turned their
I
playoffs
mean, but
around. So it
but
makes
against
sense. But at the end of the day, you gotta play against
you
your
have to play against
rival, your
matchups. Yeah,
team.
you have to
Yeah,
play
like
against
but that's the
your
thing is you
matchups.
don't want to really go on these smaller like
I
because
mean,
it's
I
like
get
now
it,
you got Rob and what's his face. That's the only reason. That's one of the reasons why I was like, yo, Bielitsa in there. I said it right the first time. You hear me? I'm going up. Bielitsa out there, like at least he'll give you some size with that shooting. He
okay,
ain't the toughest guy, but at least you know what I mean.
yeah.
You could get him into spots and make him rebound. He goes out there, he gives you that effort at least. So that's the reason why I advocated for him since that first game. It gives you the space, and then he at least gives you some size, and
So
then
you
Umi
do
as
you start
well.
Bielisa then? Do you start him?
Sure, I don't know about all of that, but I mean,
But
hey,
give him
look, it's
more
a
minutes.
chance. Yeah, I give
But
him
give him
more
more minutes.
minutes. I give him more minutes. I don't know about starting him. I still bring even Moody automatic out there. You feel me?
Kevin goes, Kerr has spent the season owning the matchup. This might be the first time where they need to react rather than own the matchup
Hmm.
situation. No, I agree. I agree.
Yep.
When they inserted Looney into the lineup, One, it was because they needed to get bigger. I mean, it was playing against the Grizzlies at the time, and
Mhm.
Gary Payton just went down. So now you're inserting Looney into the starting lineup, and he gave you. I mean, he was rebounding like I think we had like almost 20 boards one
Yeah,
game.
like, hmm
But that's against the Grizz. That's against a unproven the unproven team that this is the first time that they're actually past the first round and I
yeah, they
mean
just happy to
and
be there.
yeah, and then against the Mavs, the Mavs don't
Overachievers.
really have the size like that. So
Hmm
Kevin Looney was good there. This turn, they do have the size. And this is where Wiseman would have been good to have had he been healthy enough to have a little bit of wind. Because I mean, you can't just insert him into this game and expect him to give you more than anything with 5 minutes. He's gonna be gassed. Probably the
Yeah,
second time running down the court with a fast break. Um, I think that if you was to insert maybe even be Elisa, but I say Otto Porter because Otto Porter, he doesn't give you too much size, but he gives you enough athleticism to at the very least box out and
yeah,
fight for a rebound. And you see him on the offensive side. I mean, he gets down in the paint and he kicks out the ball. I
yeah.
mean, there was could have been offensive rebounds. One he knocked out of bounds, and the other one he slapped to a Celtics player. But I mean, he's in the mix. So I would say I would more lean towards Otto Porter. He gives you offense and he can stretch the floor. Um, but Bielisa is not bad either. I just wouldn't start him.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. But hey, what do we know?
Yeah, what do we know? We're not NBA qualified coaches. Like,
Nah, I'm just a guy with a mic.
yeah, Um, so going forward, uh, the Boston Celtics win 116-100 in Game 3. Game 2, I mean Game 4, will be tomorrow. Curry had suffered what could have been a potential really bad injury. I don't think it's as bad.
Yeah, they said it was
Then
nothing
yes,
really.
it's,
He gonna
it's not that
be.
bad. He didn't even need an MRI, so I think he's good to go. It'll take some cortisone shots and some ibuprofen. He'll be out there to play.
He'll be
But
abusing drop coverage as always.
as always, Game 4. What's your predictions?
Game four, man. I got the Warriors taking this one, man. They just got. It's just this loss was just like a bad loss. As a team, they felt that they were coming. They actually took a lead in that third quarter, and it's just like, all right, cool, we putting this together. Then they still messed around and messed that up. So it's like, and then Draymond feeling that he felt played horrible, which he did.
Yeah,
So I think they're gonna have a bounce back game. And it's just they're similar to, when you think of the Celtics. Once they lose, they come back
they
even
come back.
stronger.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
it's
don't think
gonna
any of
be
these teams have won. I mean, have lost back to back games.
exactly.
Yeah, so it's a testament to both of their resiliencies. I do agree. I think that the
Mhm.
Warriors do pull out a win. I think that they go to Golden State tied up, and they're going to, now we're gonna see what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Do when we go to Game 5 in Golden State, does the
Mhm.
Celtics become the road warriors again and pull out a win, or does Golden State take care of
Exactly.
things at home?
Because
And
right
that's what it
now,
really matters.
yeah, because right now they fighting to make Game Five a pivotal game. But right now, guess what's a pivotal game? Game Four now, just
Yep.
because you dropped one at home. So
Yep.
the pressure's on the Warriors, if anything, right now.
Yeah,
So
even if they win tomorrow, I think the pressure is still on them coming into Game
oh,
5. I
regardless, because
think
at the end of the day, so much people counted them as the winners already.
yep,
They already was count. How I said it, Kev. They was counting the chickens before the egg hatch. Um, and some people was guaranteed they was winners already. So it's like, come on, the game's got to be played. And this is what they play the games for. So Celtics is out there looking like a real tough team. But guess what? It's still Warriors, man. Still gonna get that.
All right. Well, Game 4 will be tomorrow in Boston. Um, Me and X both have the Celtics winning that game.
The
Uh,
Celtics. No, I got the
I mean, I'm
Warriors. I don't
sorry,
know what
not the
about. What
Celtics,
are
the
you talking
Warriors.
about?
My bad. I distracted. Uh, Yeah, we both
I'm about to check. Yeah,
we both have
Celtics.
the Warriors winning tomorrow. You know, Kevin, I'm sorry. They're gonna win tomorrow. Um, let's go ahead and switch topic. This will be our last topic before we end the show. Uh Draymond said something I kind of agree with him, I kind of don't. Basically he says that he's tired of everybody comparing the old era to this era because basically guys back then were getting bullied and they would get smacked and everything, and fines for that was only like $1, whereas he wouldn't be able to do that in this, or and even them would they wouldn't be able to do that in this day and age because they would be fined millions of dollars. um so he's basically saying that you know, it's a tale of two eras, which I do agree with, but I don't like the comparison between, you know, the old days and the new days. You look at the league as a whole, you can only go up, right? And the league has gotten better since the era of Bill Russell, when you know, to the era of Magic and Jordan and Bird, to the Kobe's, and now to where we're at right now with the Currys and Giannis and Bronze. Um, it's only gotten better and it's only gotten up. These guys have become more athletic. They've had to implement new rules and get structures in place to kind of um
Protect the players.
not only protect the players but create a balance. Whereas, you know, calls are for the most part equal, right? Because you know, you look at the jump calls, you know, the jump fouls, or the hooks, the hook calls, you know, those are not being
Mhm.
called anymore, you know. So now you can't hug somebody's arm and you know, flail up anymore. You know,
Yeah.
the league is just getting better. So I can't necessarily take where we're at right now with the league and compare it to back then. You can't. Yes, it was a
Yeah.
little bit more physical, but the rules were a lot different. The
And the skill
regulations, the
sets.
yeah, I mean, these guys, you look at Russell Westbrook. I mean, at the time, Jordan was probably the most athletic um basketball player you've ever seen at that time when
Mhm.
Jordan came into the league. But then you had Vince Carter. You had not, you know what I'm saying? It just got even more.
Vince Carter. You had people like
You
Derrick Rose.
yeah, you
Like,
know, I mean, Russell Westbrook. I mean, these guys have guys that are coming into the league now way more athletic. So there could be an argument made that that era wouldn't be able to play against this era because of how athletic these guys are.
mhm.
So you want to talk about physicality and everything, it's just not fair. If you bring up the physicality factor of the old school, then you have to bring up the athleticism of the new school. If you bring up the rules and the regulations of the old school, well, it's a lot different because those rules are not in place anymore. An offensive foul back then is a flagrant foul now.
Yeah.
So, you know, I agree, but I don't agree. What's your
Yeah.
take?
I mean, at the same time, it's like at the end of the day, it's just like we say in any sport that's out there, you play the people that's in front of you.
Yep.
You can't do anything but play the people that's in front of you, whether the people are 12 years old or you're going against grown men.
Hmm.
You just got to play the people that's in front of you. And that's the way the game is now. That's the way the rules are set. That's
Yeah.
the way it is now. It just you can't really sit there and clothesline people like they used to. And you can't. You
or,
can't.
or or
That's
punch somebody in the back of the head like Bill
yeah, you
Laimbeer.
can't you can't
You
do
know?
that at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And then it's like we gotta go ahead, just like they were saying with the skill set. The way the skill set is, everybody on the court is talented. It's extremely talented. Extremely. And it's like you can't afford to have an enforcer on your bench because at some
Yeah.
time you're gonna need somebody in there who could shoot the ball actually.
Yeah.
Enforcers is just on the bench, just wait taking up some of your cap space. Well, you need somebody who actually can play the game. And I'm not saying these guys can't play the game. If you put them in this era and you give them the medicine, the weight training, all the skills that we have developed into, some of these people, some of those people from the past era will come in this era and destroy some of the guys out here.
That's a
And then
fact.
vice versa. You could take some people from this era and put them in the next one and they'll destroy them because the skill set is so much better. But it's like, it's just tough trying to compare eras. Like, yes, they were a lot more physical back then because the rules are more lenient.
Right. Right.
But now it's like
And those
now
guys
you're
wasn't
trying to
as athletic.
yeah, now you're trying to
You got
protect
guys
the
trying to dunk on
players.
somebody and they're pushing, you know, I'm
They're
pushing you because you're not dunking on me. But you
you're
can't
not
do that in
dunking
this
on
day
me.
and age,
You can't.
you know?
So it's like, of course, back then you got to respect it because if you got boomed on, you really got boomed on. Um,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
boomed on some tough dudes back then. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's really about protecting the players. We see it from we had to start it from a sport like football where we seen so much head injuries
Yep.
and in boxing and things like that, where it's like you can't just let these people keep getting repeated blows, repeated hits, repeated things. We gotta protect the players because at the end of the day, the players is what bring us the money. So if they
Yep.
go into another city where they can't play because they're hurt, it's like now it's disrespecting the sport, it's disrespecting the fans because the fans came to see these people.
No,
So
I totally agree. And then to take it one step further, you have you know, there's an integrity level. You have kids watching this game,
mm-hmm.
and you can't, you know, these kids look up to these players as role
Yeah,
models, you know? So it's a little bit different because back then, I mean, yeah, kids still watch, but I mean, it was more, it wasn't, and the NBA wasn't as popular as it is today. I mean,
exactly.
basketball is becoming one of the most popular sports in the world. You know, I mean, I think right now it's between soccer and football, but then basketball is right there. I mean, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a growing sport. I mean, China has one of the most premier leagues outside of outside of the US, you know, and then you look at around the world. I mean, they take the FIBA and everything that they do in Europe. So I look at it as in there has to be a level of I guess exchange, you know, and you can't, it's like me comparing your adulthood to your childhood. You know, it's two different eras that you're living in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you as a kid, you watch cartoons on Saturday. Nowadays, there's cartoons 7 days a week. You know what I'm saying? Like it's two different eras. You really can't compare them. So I mean,
Yeah.
again, I agree with Draymond in one aspect, but you know, then again, it's kind of like, you know, I really don't like it when the old heads like you know
Jump
oh,
in and say something about what was the other
yeah,
guy
you
who
know,
said that KD all
uh
he does is tweet and play
yeah, you
games or
know,
something. Like it's
I don't
like
like
one
that,
of the
man.
things too is it's about like you said, we're gonna go in with the integrity, and then we also
Mhm.
have to go ahead with the respect factor of this. About players respecting each other as far as on the court, because you know we went through the whole thing with breaking the code, broke the
Yeah.
code this, broke the code that. So it's players respecting each other who currently play the games, and then we also
Mhm.
it's just the fact that you gotta have respect for the players, and it's just like the new players, they respect so much of the old players, and it's the old players that's coming in and showing the disrespect.
It's almost, it seems that way too, because you look at like there's a lot of old players that keep saying like, oh, LeBron wouldn't last in our era, like our era was way more physical and blah blah blah. Yeah, but
Like,
if you was to play against LeBron in this era, I don't think you would last. You would foul out
mhm,
trying to guard LeBron. You know, you would
exactly.
foul out trying to guard Giannis. Shoot, you would guard out.
Mhm.
You would foul out trying to guard Russell. Who's faster than Russell
Yep.
back then? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a tale of two swords, and I just feel like
Yeah.
you can't, you just can't. I don't like the comparisons. I don't even like the comparison with people like LeBron
And the
and
Jordan
Jordan.
GOAT
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't
I
even like
like
that comparison.
everybody has their own era. Just let them be the best of their era.
Yeah, that's it. You know, Bill was great in his era. Will, you know, you got all these guys that were great in their eras. Let them have their flowers and let them die in peace, bro. Like at the
Hmm.
end of the day, they had their era already. This is a new era. These are new guys that
Yeah.
are coming into the league, and they're ushering in a new guard. It's a changing of the guard. Let them
Hmm.
be who they are. You know, imagine a LaMelo Ball back in 1986, bro, shooting from half court. That's none heard of. The stuff
Yeah.
that they're doing nowadays in league, they was not doing it back then. You
Hmm.
know, I remember when I remember during the playoffs when Patrick Ewing took that three, took the three, the game winner. Where he went out to
Yeah.
the, it was like, oh, there was like 3 seconds left on the clock. They inbound on the ball. I think he was supposed to get it to he was supposed to get it inside the paint just to tie it up. And I remember seeing uh um Van Gundy's face. Van Gundy looked like Curry the first time Curry saw Curry take that wild
Yeah.
ass
Oh, that
crossover
between the
3 point shot.
Clippers. Yeah, between the Clippers.
Yeah,
Like, yo, what are you doing? Oh, it went in.
yeah,
Okay, this is what they
yeah.
do now. My bad.
I remember seeing his face because it reminded me exactly of that moment. And
Hmm.
it's like, back then that was like unheard of. It was like, it was an anomaly.
Yeah,
Nowadays, niggas is hitting. I'm sorry, I mean,
people.
but I mean, players are hitting full court shots to beat a buzzer, and it's water, straight water.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's I don't know, man. It's difficult. I just don't like the
Yeah.
comparison. I don't like the comparison at all,
I
man.
mean, yeah, I get it. Like sometimes, like when you watch the game, and I could see it from both sides. You know what I mean? As far as like when you watch the game, and I know some of the start of this was like the three ball era, right?
Hmm.
And it's like when you see him running on a break, and instead of going to get a little easy layup or just pass it to his man for an easy layup, they pull up for three. And I'm
Yeah,
like, I understand because I'm like, yo, that's literally like, yo,
it's the way the
but it's a
game is
change.
going.
It's the way the game's going, but it's just like at the end of the day, let's get the easy basket and let's play ball. Like instead of taking some crazy shot like that, it's still is nowadays it's not as crazy, but it's still
Yeah,
like, come on, let's
yeah. I
get the
mean,
easy
it's
score. Let's call it that, bro.
yeah. I
But now
mean, you
y'all
got
doing too much,
you
so
got
I
Trey
understand
Young
that
hitting
sometimes.
a shot 35 feet from the rim when he got
Hmm.
Capella wide open, streaking to the for
Exactly.
an easy layup. You're
So
taking a
it's
more
like,
difficult shot, but
hmm,
giving up, and I get that. I get that.
yeah,
But again, I mean, it's just the way it's trending. I mean, you got
uh
the
huh,
league talking about implementing a 4 point shot. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to that, I mean, that just shows you how far we are. I
hmm,
mean, technology is different. You could challenge plays. You couldn't do
yeah,
that back then. I mean, there was questionable calls back then that
yeah,
that could have been challenged. You know,
exactly.
it's man, it's
We gotta
crazy,
let's
man.
keep it let's keep it 100. And it's for people who's in here who understand music. And Little Wayne had an interview where he was talking about how he transformed himself throughout the music. How where they transformed, they changed from certain raps. How he kept relevant. He stood with the times. He said, "Yo, you some of these things you just gotta start to love the music that they make, whether it's mumble rap, whether it's this, that, and the third, because this is their music. This is what they're going with. So it's like, yo, just to keep if you truly love the sport or you truly love music, the way he was saying, he was like, you will learn to love this stuff because this is
Yeah,
music. This is what they're doing. So this is basketball at the end of the day. If you
that's a
love
fact.
basketball, I understand you loved the way you played, but this is the way the new guys play. And
Yep.
if you love basketball, you respect it, you want to be on the sideline waving at the fans and they love you because they remember you for who you
Yeah.
was and what you did for the team. Guess what? These are the new guys who are going to be remembered. They're going to be on the sidelines one day waving at the next fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do you want to be sitting next to him, next to that guy, knowing that you was talking mad dirt about his game?
It
If you're
just makes
still
no
around, you know
sense.
what I mean? Like, come
Yeah,
on.
that makes no sense to me. I mean, you got I think that especially with the TNT guys, sometimes I feel like they cross the line sometimes, and I get it. You're coming from an era where things were drastically different.
Mm-hmm.
You wasn't getting the calls that you're getting now. I mean,
Yeah.
imagine Shaq getting a take call in this day and age, in this league. It's
Mm-hmm.
a lot different,
Yeah.
and I think that in this age, him getting take calls, they would have probably implemented a rule where it's not Shaq taking those free throws. So now
Yeah.
you can't. You're not.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. Hacker shacking. You're
Yeah.
literally. Nah. We're not gonna do that. That's not gonna be our game plan because I'm pretty sure in this day and age, if Shaq would have played in
Mm-hmm.
this league in this era, they would have implemented a rule to make it so that if there is a take call, it's gonna be your best free throw shooter taking that free throw. Or it's just gonna it's just a lot of different things, a lot of different factors. But yeah, I don't want us to get too far on a tangent here, but I
Yeah,
mean,
let me just say the one last thing, man. Bullies aren't bulletproof. MJ showed us that. You know what I mean? He used to get bullied too. So if we talk about people getting bullied, MJ, he was the number one person who got bullied by the Pistons, and he came back because bullies aren't bulletproof, and he did his thing against them. So you know what I mean? It's not about getting bullied. It's about what you do when you getting hit. You feel me?
that's a fact. That's a fact. It's literally about resiliency and then being of sound mind. If you have if you have the fortitude and the mental toughness to endure it, then you're a winner. You know, I mean,
Yep.
those are the guys that go far, and you're right. Jordan proved that. Kobe proved it. Kobe came from that era too, and he thrived in both eras. So you know, I just don't like it. I don't like the comparisons. Let's end those comparisons. Let's end those debates. Let's stop bringing up if KD could beat Bird and can Magic, you know, survive in this era and dude, let's stop all this debate and stuff. Let the
Mhm.
old era live, give them their flowers and let them die peacefully. Let these new guys live and let them change the game because it's only gonna get better.
I
Period.
agree. I agree.
But yeah, man, that's our episode. Thank everybody for tuning in. Thank everybody for the comments. Al Mugga, shout out to you, Kevin. It's always
Uh,
love with you. Alex, take us out, baby.
All right, y'all already know the vibes, man. Y'all pulled up to the greatest show in the world, the greatest podcast, the Flagrant 2 with X and Lou. You already know. Like, share, sub, and all the above. Your boy signing out.
We out of here, man. See y'all guys next. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah,
See you
tomorrow,
tomorrow.
yeah.